Whoa! I didn't see that coming. I'm laying on my back, stunned and stinging from the whack of the back of Steve's heel and as the arc of the crescent foot, his crescent kick, his foot moving real fast. And Steve runs over, apologizing. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were going to drop your guard. And in fact, I did have my right arm up protecting my face, but I got distracted trying to figure out what my partner is going to do. Now, when Steve asked both Don and me to take him on in sparring, Steve, by the way, is our 6'4" kung fu teacher, I was nervous. I never fought with Don before. I didn't know him at all. And really, I was kind of confused thinking how we'd coordinate our attack. But, you know, I'm game, so what the heck? You fight, you get hit. But wait a minute. I'm a 42-year-old father of two. What am I doing kicking kung fu with people half my age? I'm having a midlife crisis. You know, instead of going out and buying a Corvette, I take up kung fu. So I get up off the floor and sit down while two students get up and spar each other. And then another student stands up, and Steve says, ready to fight. And Steve says, okay, who's ready? And I stand up. And Steve mutters under his breath, warrior. And I think to myself, yes, that is who I am. That's what I'm doing here at the Silent Dragon School of Kung Fu and Tai Chi. I'm fulfilling my father's legacy. You see, my dad was a boxer. I mean, amateur before I was born, but he was really good. And that was our family sport, my brothers and I. But he was more than a boxer. He was a fighter in his soul and his psyche. That's how he survived on the tough streets of New York when at age 16, at the height of the Depression, he became the oldest male child of his family when his father was shot dead by a cop. And he extended that attitude of fighting to his whole life. I mean, that's how he survived mentally too. In that, he became an activist. You know, he was taking on the wrongs of the world. So here I am, trying on this warrior mantle and thinking, yeah, I like this, you know, contemplating the insanities of my own world. Bzzz, wake up, Harry. Come on, you're just trying to take care of my family. Okay, I take off the mantle, warrior. But, you know, I really do love sparring. It's the context of that contest. You know, it's the dropping of all pretense. It's putting it all on the line. I find that invigorating. Well, there's another game at play here at the school. It's called push hands, and it derives from Tai Chi. And you might have seen people practicing that, a sequence of slow-moving exercises and movements. Well, Steve would tell us that Tai Chi is the inner form of Kung Fu. In fact, he said every move you can imagine in Kung Fu, you can find in Tai Chi. So this contest, this push hands thing involves, oh, by the way, people who are really practice this contest, they refer to one another as players. And the game is played with two players standing, arm extended, just making contact at the forearm. And in fact, that's part of the game, is maintaining that contact while fulfilling the other part, which is getting through your opponent's guard and getting your opponent off balance. And as I discovered, it's a lot of fun. Well, as I also discovered that the masters of this game are playing beyond the boundaries of our physical perception. And here's why I say that. Steve is doing push hands with a woman who he helped bring over from China, a woman who is a multi-time national champion in push hands and kung fu, other forms. She's considered a grandmaster in Tai Chi. And this is a diminutive woman, and she's doing push hands with 6'4", 240-pound Steve, and she throws him across the room. Now, how is that physically possible? Steve described the feeling of being pushed by this woman, I Ping Cheng, as being pushed from the inside. Now, I will get to experience this myself from another individual that Steve brought over. This is a man, he appears to be in his 50s, 60s perhaps, also diminutive, a real slight guy, who is also recognized as a grandmaster in his home country of Malaysia. And he is demonstrating that in this form, the ability to move one's opponent is not a matter of physical exertion. And so to do so, he has each one of us that's participating come and do push hands with him. And in fact, the ones who are not participating at that moment, he invites them to stand as close to him as they want, even feel his arm, you know, to see that he's not tensing up. So I kind of hang back instead of standing real close, And like I'm trying different angles. I'm looking from the front. I'm looking from the back. I'm dropping down, squinting, seeing back. I catch something that makes sense, some kind of leverage that he's using, and I only see his gentle movement. Well, it's my turn. We engage. His face is completely calm, and he says, "Okay, ready?" I swear I don't remember feeling his hand against my chest. I just know I'm flying through the air. My mind is blown. What is going on here? Is this Yoda? This is Chi. I come away from the class realizing two things. One, whatever he did to us would take a lifetime to master. But I come away from the class with a renewed sense of wonder. The world is not what it seems. And I find this more comforting than the stance of a warrior in dealing with the insanities of the world. Thank you.